Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to go over the most asked question by all of my first-time buyer clients, and that question is, how much money do I need to purchase my first home? You're going to notice here on the side of the screen I've got a QR code for you to scan. It's going to have a land transfer tax calculator, mortgage payment calculator, as well as several other calculators that may help you when trying to figure out what your payments or potential costs could be. But today we are going to break this grand total of $55,000 down and what that actually is allocated to when it comes to purchasing your first property. Today we are going to use an example of a $700,000 property, which is becoming more and more realistic by the day as we're seeing housing prices decrease in the Greater Toronto Area and in Waterloo. But we will start with a down payment category. You can buy a property with a minimum of 5% down payment. This only applies to the first $500,000 of that property. So if it's a $500,000 house, 5% would be $25,000. In this case, we have a $700,000 house, so we're going to need 10% on that remaining $200,000, which would be another $20,000. So the down payment category itself, as you'll see here on the side, is $45,000. Now that isn't the only amount of money that you're going to need to purchase your first house. There are a few more things that you need to keep in mind. The second thing we're going to be talking about is land transfer tax. Land transfer tax is going to be required every single purchase that you make, whether it's your first house, second, third, fourth, or fifth property. Now, as a first-time home buyer, you will receive a credit of just shy of $5,000 on that first land transfer tax payment. In this example of $700,000 purchase price, land transfer tax would be $10,000 and change, and then you'll be getting a credit of just about $5,000. That leaves you with a rough balance of $5,500 for that land transfer tax portion. That price is going to change depending on the purchase price, of course, but we are dealing with $700,000 today. Additionally, you're going to want to consider the charge for lawyer's fees at closing. In this case, you're buying your first house, you just have one transaction that the lawyers need to take care of. This range is going to be anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 for that initial transaction. Choosing a lawyer is very important. You want to choose somebody who's going to be able to represent you if something does go wrong in that transaction. If it does come to a point where something happens, potentially the seller decides they don't want to move out of the house, or there's something with the contract that we need adjusted, you want to make sure that that lawyer you've chosen isn't just the cheapest option. Somebody that you trust is more important than saving a little bit of money. Additionally, you want to have some money saved for a few other things. Movers might cost you a couple $1,000s or less, depending on how much furniture you have in your current rental. If you're in a rental, or if you're at home, you'll have less furniture and you may not need to worry about having movers. You might just need to order some new furniture when you get to your new property. Secondly, just some miscellaneous charges. You may be required to pay property tax up front for that first year because you have no history being a resident in whatever city you are purchasing your first property. The city may require you to pay that property tax up front because they don't know that you're reliable enough to actually pay for this property tax. Last but not least, for myself, my rule of thumb is have 2 to 3 months saved up to cover yourself for a rainy day. You never know if you need a new roof. You never know if there's a leak in the house that needs to be taken care of. My biggest encouragement for you as a first-time buyer is do not spend every single penny that you have. Make sure you have some money left over in the bank so you're comfortable and that you're not stretching yourself too thin during the biggest purchase of your life. Understand, your payments can change from month to month, so having some money saved up is very important to cover these unexpected occurrences that may happen. If you were able to get any information that helped you from this video, I would love it if you liked, subscribed, and followed us for our next videos in the coming weeks. We will put out a video every Monday at noon, so stay tuned for the next video. If there's a topic that you want me to cover, or if you want me to bring somebody in to cover something specific, put it in the comments below and I'd be happy to reach out and cover a video specifically for you.